This is Jackson Robert Scott, and you're listening to Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast.
They've conquered the big screen. Now, get ready for the spin-off sure to send chills down your spine. It's Nico, Brian, Mike, and Dustin in Don't Go Out There, the series.
Welcome back, everybody, to DGOT, the series. We really appreciate y'all listening. We hope y'all have been enjoying these series reviews. I know we have. It's been a lot of fun. Just want to give a quick shout out to our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Everything about our podcast is on the website. All of our episodes and interviews, if you want to check those out. We've done some incredible interviews in the past. Go check them out there in a specific tab by themselves so you don't have to scroll through hundreds of episodes on Apple or Spotify, etc. We also have our store if you want to grab a shirt, a mouse pad, a hat, all that good stuff. We'd love to see your pictures, rep your favorite podcast. And Shan's Etsy page is also attached if you want to grab a tumbler. All of our social media links are on there as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Like us, subscribe us, follow us, all that good stuff. And the last thing I'm going to shout out on our website is our Patreon. We call it Blood Donors. We have the traditional monthly reoccurring kind. If you want to support us, help us pay the bills, as we say. Or if there's a movie you want us to review, that option is available as well. Just check out our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Also, if you haven't noticed, we've recently joined the Believe Network, so there's some ads on our program now. But if you want ad-free content, go check us out on Blood Donors. The ad-free episodes will be available there. We appreciate your support. We are starting a new series. This one is going to be a weekly one, too, episode by episode. We're taking on Welcome to Derry, prequel. Kind of excited. I was kind of excited to hear this show had launched, honestly. But just my general thoughts on episode 1, I thought it was fine. It was okay. I just thought episode 1 was fine. I don't know what else to say. I just thought it was okay. But, there's a lot more to come, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see Bill Skarsgård come back and all that. But, yeah, tuned in. Brian, what'd you think?
Yeah, I wasn't really excited about the show until I heard that Skarsgård was going to come back. Man, I fucking loved this episode. It's kind of the epitome of, man, fuck them kids, right? Jesus. But, and I do. I love it, pulling the rug out from under us right off the bat in the first episode with what I thought was going to happen. As we learn about these characters, we grow, and I loved how we also didn't see Pennywise the clown. So I love that we only really saw his incarnations. And man, I'm all the way in on this show after one episode.
Yeah, I actually completely agree with Brian. I know, damn, that was actually operator error of the mouse, fucking driving me nuts. I'm just going to quit this show one day, and it'll be fine. But until then, I'm still here, God damn it. No, I actually agree with you, Brian. I really, really love this episode. I mean, from the jump, I think this is freaking cinema right here. And maybe it's just because it had that world-building aspect to it, where normally I'm not a big prequel guy. But to me, this isn't necessarily a prequel answering questions I wasn't asking. It's more so just giving me more of the same, just further back into the past, right? So we're not with the Losers Club, but we're with a Losers Club adjacent group of kids. And we get it without Pennywise the clown in this episode, which I've said in both of our It reviews. I like when they do that. I like when it takes a different form. Now, I don't like when it's a stupid fucking spider looking thing that looks like shit and is not scary in any way. But when it takes this demon baby form and all these other things, the opening scene for this is awesome to me, where it basically just takes over this entire family with in the car. Love it. So I actually really, really, really like this episode. I'm excited for the next episode because, it locked me all the way in. The only negatives I really had, and I know it's building to something, especially with Dick Halloran, but the military stuff, I know it's building to something, but it did kind of drag the episode out, especially since I thought the rest of it was so well done. So very, very excited. And I am excited to see Skarsgård, but I am glad that we didn't have him here. And we didn't need him here, in my opinion. We got his face, that Pennywise smile just a little bit by Maddie, and that's it. So I'm excited as they start to build towards that when it does happen.
I thought it was pretty good. Pilot, I've first of all, let me start with saying, y'all know, I've told y'all, I just can't get into shows anymore. Like every show, I'm just like, oh, this is going on too long. Just do this in an hour or 2 hours movie, and I'll be happy. So it takes me a while to get into shows anyway, or get invested. And then pilots, especially, like there's so much world building and character establishment that pilots are tough. But I thought this one was pretty good. Like we got to know our characters pretty good. We got a look at a young Dick Halloran on the base there, which was cool. And yeah, I saw you shake your head. So are you saying
wait a second? Which one? I didn't catch that.
Yep.
I thought he was in the next episode. I didn't see him in this
That's
one.
when he's revealed, but he's in the first one. So when they arrive and you see the other black guy in the military uniform that looks at him when we get a look at him.
Looks at him and turns. He's driving.
Kind of stares at him. That's Dick.
So that's the same guy.
That's cool.
He got whacked before he got whacked.
Years before. And then, they take stretches where they're just showing us and they're welcoming us into this world, but then bam, something will happen. And then bam, something else will happen. Like after they do a good job of heating us up, cooling us down. And then the end just happens in a flurry. So I thought it was a pretty good pilot episode.
All right. And I kind of was wondering if pilot had two meanings, like pilot being the first episode, but also pilot because of
he's Air Force
pilot. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Anybody got anything else before I get into this scene by scene?
Nope.
All right. We open up in 1962, Derry, Maine, and we meet a young boy named Matty Clements who gets busted sneaking into some movie theater by the usher, and we kind of get the gist that it's not the first time he's done it. As the usher tries to chase him down, the owner, Hank's daughter, Ronnie, helps conceal where he is, and Hank himself asks the usher to show some pity. Matty dips out, and he's walking through the outskirts of the city, hitchhiking. He gets picked up by a family, and we find out Matty is running away and that they should drop him off anywhere but Derry. However, things start to get a little freaky-deaky, as this family isn't a real family. It's Pennywise fucking with Matty. That sounded dirtier than I meant it. They turn around and re-enter Derry, and then we see the wife give birth in a pretty graphic vaginal birth scene to some winged baby creature that reminded me of an ass blaster from the Tremors franchise. Well, the ass blaster baby is on the loose, and Matty, he's dead. We fast forward 4 months and meet Korean War vets Captain Polly Russo and Major Leroy Hanlon arriving at the Derry Air Base. Shaw has assigned Leroy to pilot a B-52, and we ride with them through the base as this set of scenes comes to a conclusion.
Yeah, I laughed at the dude necking his girl and her having no reaction at all in the theater, and the woman behind them disgusted I thought was hilarious as well. This theater usher is taking his job way too damn serious. You're going to chase a little kid around because he snuck into a movie? Why don't you just do your job better? Don't be mean to the little kid. This family's reaction to the kid's home is very weird. Anywhere but Derry. Like, what's your street address? Where are we taking you for real? This sister is on some nut shit. Bloody liver fingers, cussing her brother out. Well, never mind. The whole family is fucked up. Yeah, this car ride has escalated quickly. Very scary for this little boy. The birthing scene is disgusting and haunting to watch, and I was not expecting it whatsoever. Mutant Baby is more comical than scary, in my opinion, and I don't know how y'all feel, but I wasn't a fan of Mutant Baby at all, to be honest. Beautiful cinematography with the pacifier going into the sewer, and the title card I thought was awesome. Almost as cool as Bates Motel. Shout out to Mike. I thought it was a decent opening to a show, but I'm not sure what to expect with either. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like I mentioned in my open, normally don't like prequel things overall, but the more I dive into some of the prequels, I guess I'm not as much of a hater on them as I thought. I mean, I like Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning. Like, there's things or ones that I do like, but I like this idea of building the world of Derry, right? More so than just like following up with more Pennywise. We are world building within that universe. And I actually really like that. I think it helps even deepen those stories, right? Because there's stuff that I don't like about the It movie, the second one, and the second part of the miniseries. But this gets more back to that, the kids and what makes it scary. And so I do like right off the bat, that's what we're getting here. And I was wondering how far back in the past. I'm not going to lie. I haven't really been paying attention. Didn't really watch the trailer. So I wasn't sure exactly how far back they were going to go, because in the movies we see a really old picture of Pennywise. I didn't know if they were going back to like fucking, revolution time, or what was going on, right? So it was interesting. I was like, all right, so we have the moving pictures. Here we are at the moving picture theater. Not quite that old, but we're going back a long way, back when Brian was in high school. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. Why? I know it's like a thing, right? Like a stress thing or an anxiety thing, but this kid sucking on this pacifier is a little too old to be sucking on this pacifier. I don't know what's going on with that, but picking up a wandering kid would be really not happening in 2025. Like, you would maybe stop, pull the car over, call the police, or whoever you needed to call to kind of figure out what the situation was. You wouldn't just hitchhike a kid. So clearly I was like, this doesn't pass the smell test for sure. All of a sudden this shit just starts to get going, right? I mean, the sister starts going crazy and, making them smell the fingers, and they're starting to just spell shit and say the same thing over and over again. And this family's going fucking nuts. And I love how intense this scene feels, especially when we get this crazy birth scene in the car. Like, and they don't hold back on the graphic. Like, they show all of it, and it is fucking nuts to me. I just loved it. Like, I thought, oh my God, what the fuck am I watching? I thought it was really, really well done. Rosemary's Baby ain't got shit on this birth scene. This is some real deal stuff that we get to see here. And I don't mind Demon Baby. Obviously, any Demon Baby thing you're going to do is going to be CG, right? So like, well, I guess not obviously, but more than likely that's what you're going to get. But I think they pull it off really, really well. That shot of the pacifier flying into the sewer to get the title card is fucking awesome. Bravo. What a set of scenes. Really, really like it. Now, again, the cool down, like Dustin mentioned, is the military stuff here. And I think after that scene, we kind of needed a little bit of a cool down, because that was wild.
So my first thoughts, and really this is the most important thoughts that I have in my notes on this episode. And I quote, "That kid was too damn old to have a pacifier." God, that made my blood boil. I was like, kid, do you not realize your teeth, you're going to have buck teeth? Anyway. Then when he catches a ride, what do you mean he hitched the right ride? You're going to take him with you? Like, he's a minor that's clearly running away from home. He said anywhere but Derry, and he's like, okay, come with us to Portland. That is a crime, lady. But then we see what's going on. Most disturbing part of the episode, despite all the, supernatural and it stuff happening, was the girl dipping her fingers in that liver and then smelling them and then sticking them in Marty's face, like, ugh, or Maddie's face. Ugh, that is gross. But then is when I was like, oh, okay, makes much more sense. I see what's going on here. Solid opening, but the birthing scene was a bit too much for me. Gross. I'm not even talking about the demon that she birthed. I'm talking about like just seeing the head protrude in her panty drawers. That was gross. I will say 10 out of 10 title cards. That was incredible. But then I want to walk that back a little bit, because in today's age, you don't know what is CG and human artist made, or if it's AI generated. So if it's AI generated, 0 out of 10. People don't have drinking water because of you maniacs. Anyway, it's a solid opening.
Have any of y'all seen The First Omen? That came out last year?
No, The First Omen came out years ago. No, that was before I got into my watch everything that releases phase. And at that point, and still this point, demon movies, possession movies aren't my bag. So no, I didn't watch that one.
No, I feel you, but that one has a pretty intense birthing scene in it.
Oh, thanks. Now I will not watch it.
Appreciate that.
If demons weren't enough to keep me away, birth, yeah, I'm out.
Fair enough. Go ahead, Brian.
All right, we cut to Derry High and get a lot of turtle references from the It novel, and we meet Lily Bainbridge, who opens her locker to a bunch of jars of pickles because her dad just died at a pickle jarring factory a year ago, and kids are fucking assholes. And, by the way, we meet Marge. We also meet Teddy and Phil, who seem like a couple of nerds living their lives and think the airbase is housing alien secrets. back at the Air Force Base, we meet James fucking Remar before he goes to Miami Homicide, apparently, to adopt Dexter. And see, he's the one who assigned Leroy to pilot the aircraft, and that's not a popular decision amongst the at least one racist airman. Back at Ted's house now, Phil has a fake mustache and is watching Miss Johansson across the way take her bra off. And Teddy is still broken up over Maddie's disappearance as Phil tries to get him to move on, and that Maddie didn't have friends. The two of them were paid to go to his birthday party in Candy by his mom. This story's getting crazier. We cut to Lily's room where she looks at her bracelet and remembers an interaction with Maddie where he takes her up to a hidden spot with a view the three of them use as a boys' secret hangout, and he gave her his turtle crackerjack charm that we just saw on her bracelet. She tells a story of how her father died, and Maddie tries to kiss her but gets shut down. We cut back to present time, and Lily can hear Maddie's voice in the drain quoting the movie that we saw him watching in the open. We see a finger pop up through the drain, and that's the end of set scenes.
Yeah, I didn't realize James Reamer was in this show. No wonder he canceled Scaredice on us earlier this month. Prick. Just kidding. I know that.
No. He was out in the desert looking for Brian Earl Spillner's remains after the car wreck. Fast and Furious reference and real life reference.
Yeah, I get it. What a question. Why are brassieres so pointy when boobs aren't pointy? I thought that was some Shakespeare type writing right there. Young blood is staring way too hard. You got to hide out a little bit. Like, goodness gracious, like you were being egregious. Phil is a terrible friend to Teddy. Good Lord. If bros can't talk to their bros, who can they talk to? Brutal for Maddie. I haven't seen someone get denied a kiss that bad ever. That was the most painful denial I've ever seen in my life. And this is the last thing I got, Mike. Nice, tense, scary scene with Lily hearing Maddie from the sink and the bloody finger. Slow set of scenes, but it's episode 1. You know, we're just building right now.
I will say, and this is one of my biggest takeaways from every time I watch something that's supposed to be in this era, 50s high school looks fun as shit if you just remove all the racism that was going on, right? I mean, come on, man. You know, if you remove civil rights, if you were white, this is a pretty fun time right here. You know what I mean? Come on, 50s high school. We love each other like Grease? No? Okay. Back when Brian was in high school again? Good stuff. Speaking of racism, this was at a time where black people could be this high rank in the military? I only ask because I'm like, man, that was kind of shocking. And obviously they're playing into that. We have the one racist asshole here that won't even salute this man who earned his high rank. But anyway, look, boys wanting to creep at a hot neighbor. Tale as old as time, man. Who wasn't doing this with their buds, right? I mean, come on. You know, especially at that time period, at that age, hormones rushing all the way to both heads. I mean, come on, that's all you can do. And so it was nice to see. Now, obviously, like Nico mentioned, how you not going to sit here and talk with me about our dead kind of friend, like our friend, right, man? I mean, come on. This is kind of fucked up the way you're just trying to bypass it, but it's realistic, right? At that age, especially back then, you didn't talk about your feelings, right? I mean, you just kind of moved on. And so I thought it was realistic. And so I liked that realistic dialogue between these two kids because that's what they are. Maddie seemed like a good kid, though, man, right? I mean, it's tough at that age. He has this scene here that, you know, because you start to build this friendship and you kind of almost automatically want to take it to that next level, you know, with the girl, right? And again, raging hormones, and it's just awful. He didn't even get turned down. He just didn't give her a chance to process everything that was going on, man. If you just gave her a second, probably would have got a kiss, but it does happen. And trouble. Anyway, last thing I had, drain finger would look nasty as fuck, man. That wasn't good. I didn't like the visuals on that. But no, slower set of scenes for sure, but I do think they did a good job, especially ending on that drain finger that I thought was enough to keep the story going for sure.
So first of all, Mike, to touch on something you said, since, as Brian likes to say, we are a professional podcasting company, let me add some context to your question there. Yes,
there you go.
Black men could be majors in the military in the 50s because President Truman signed Executive Order 9981 in 1948 because there was a shortage of troops. And so, yes, it was in 1948 is when they started being promoted. However, it was still slow. Advancement to higher ranking was still very challenging until much later, because obviously the racism and all.
Sure.
Anyway, back to the notes that I took beforehand. I got to ask you something, Mike. I know you don't even have to answer because I know the answer. I know you shed a tear seeing all those perfectly good pickles go to waste when they fell out of her locker. Mike, if for everyone who doesn't know, he's a pickle connoisseur. It's his favorite food. It's always good to see James Remar on screen. I'm a big fan of his, like I mentioned, Fast and Furious, but so many others. Like he's good. I like him. He's one of those supporting actors that's like every time you see him, you're like, oh, that guy, I like him.
Yeah.
There's something hilarious to me about the juxtaposition of this kid. Him being young enough to wear a fake mustache just for the heck of it, but also being old enough to want to see the neighbor lady's boobs. Like that is, if that's not like prepubescent boys in a nutshell, I don't know what is. Like that was so funny. It does slow down here to establish some characters and some context, but that's to be expected in pilot, like I mentioned. But we are moving around. We're getting a good scare at the end of this set of scenes to help us build on.
To be fair, I'm 42 and I like fake mustaches and boobs as well. We open with Lily telling Margie about the drain fingers, and then cut to later that day with Teddy and Phil at the secret hideout, when Lily shows up and tells them the same thing. They struggle to believe it, of course, and we cut back to the Air Force Base, where Dexter's dad tells the major that the racist airman is being suspended, and we learn more about how much of a badass the major is and how he doesn't like to talk about his injury. Later that night, Teddy has a Shabbat dinner with his family and asks his father about the possibility of children being held underground for a long period of time. Wrong question, son. His dad wonders why he wastes his thoughts on things like this when Teddy's grandparents escaped from the Buchenwald concentration camp, where the rest of the families died, and atrocities that included making lampshades out of human skin. That sets us up for later that night as Teddy's lampshade comes to life and eventually shows human faces made of skin to fuck with them. The following day, Teddy, Phil, and Lily are back at the hideout, and by God, the boys are believers now. They head to the local library where they read an article that Maddie was last seen by a girl who they deduce is Veronica Rani Grogan that we saw at the start of this episode. When kids show up, now joined by Phil's little sister, to Ronnie's house to ask for help, she initially refuses, but soon changes her mind when Lily mentions that she heard Maddie singing through the pipes and asks what song Maddie was singing, and that she's heard voices as well at the theater.
I laughed at the random fart in the ladies' room. Yes, I'm that immature, I guess, but I did laugh. Nice jump scare with Teddy in the Ed Gein lampshade. This thing rolling at me would have had me going full Mike Settle on the floor. If you know, you know. Beautiful camera shot as the camera pans away from the city up to Phil. I love that. And this is the last thing I got, Mike, just giving you a heads up. Another decent set of scenes. You know, I still thought it was kind of slow, but we're establishing an atmosphere, characters, and scares for the future.
You know, listen, man. I can't even imagine being the weird kid during a time like this where your reputation was so important, within your friend group, your culture, your classmates or whatever. So I actually appreciate what this girl's doing here. She's trying to save her from being the weird kid in the 50s or whatever. Man, that'd be a tough one. I'm just saying. I'd probably take her advice. But anyway, Nico, I'm with you. This fart was fucking hilarious, man. Are you kidding? Man, a well-placed fart can be great. Are you going to sit here and tell me, no matter how old you get, the scene in the first American Pie where Finch he can't hold it because they gave him a laxative, had to take a shit in the bathroom at school for once and didn't get to go home, that's not fucking hilarious? Of course it's hilarious. It's fucking great. So a well-placed fart, always funny. Not every fart's funny. And I was trying to think of where I knew this one friend, the girl with the glasses, from. She's the daughter in the Santa Clauses. See, everything's coming up Christmas for tonight's recording, fellas. The movie that we did had Christmas in it. The opening scene of this had a tree in the background. And this girl's in the Santa Clauses, which, by the way, I'm not going to recommend you guys watch. You don't need to watch it. It's okay. But you can if you want to be in the spirit. But shout out to Christmas, man. And I know that everybody on this show appreciates Christmas the way that I do. That's what I'm talking about. So right now, I'm significantly less interested in this military stuff than I am the stuff that's going on with the kids, right? And so that's typically, out of context, sounds super weird, but I'm pretty consistent in what I want to see out of it content. Because the kids stuff is scarier because we get stuff involving the whatever form it wants to take, normally Pennywise in this particular episode, not Pennywise, but kinda, right, at the end. And so I think that's much more interesting, much more scary, and nostalgic in a way. So I think that it works better for me. Now, the military stuff I'm sure is going to pay off, but it's not grabbing my attention like the other stuff. It's funny about the dinner scene, though. At that time, people did think that comic books and movies, moving pictures, and music were satanic, right? And this is before the satanic panic, but they were really having a hard time with culture starting to kind of form, young culture, like more than anything around this time. And so comic books, and they've been around longer than this, right? But like in this way where it's like He-Man and this guy, and I don't know comic book names. You guys know comic book names. I don't. But anyway, he's reading stuff that's the devil's reading. Now, shout out to this lampshade scene because I thought it was great. Some of it was unintentionally funny, but the way that his face was pulled over the lampshade, I thought was really well done. I don't know if that was CG or practical, how that was all pulled off, but I thought it was really well done. And again, last thing I have, which is we're not getting the Losers Club, but we are getting Losers Club adjacent friend group, and I'm here for it. Like they're basically filling that role of what they would normally fill. So, I thought another really good set of scenes, and I am ready for the ending because the ending is just as fucking nuts as the opening to me.
You know what's funny is this man, there are, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of comic book characters, and you picked the one that's not a comic book character. It was created for TV.
Oh, I don't fucking know.
No,
I don't know.
The fucking one.
Wait, there's no He-Man comic books?
There might be some based off the cartoon, but it was made as a cartoon show first. Yeah.
Aha, He-Man comic book right here, buddy. Right here.
But still,
pulled it up on
when
the
you're
old
like, hey,
internet.
name a comic book character, He-Man is like Spider-Man, Superman, Batman.
Of course, I know who Spider-Man and Superman and Batman are, but like outside of that,
Why'd you go with He-Man?
I don't know. Fuck, man. Just named a random. There are He-Man comic books. I just looked it up. Fuck you, Brian.
Yeah. Anyway,
comic books
Margie,
for nerds.
I have the talking pillow. Stop insulting us. Margie actually did a good thing for Lily, like telling her to calm down the crazy talk so she doesn't get laughed at. That's a good thing. And like a typical female, Lily overreacted. I mean, can't see the forest for the trees, most of them. A lot of this set of scenes is more world building and character development, like I said before, but it is well done. It's just hard to take notes on for me. I do like the seeds, being planted, though. Theodore asking his dad about kids being kidnapped and held in the sewers. That's a good way to show, Pennywise or it is up to its usual tricks, even back then with unfamiliar characters in this town. Business picks up when we see the lampshade has faces on it. I thought that was great. I thought it looked cool. Good touch. But I will say that seeing the faces, like just seeing, anytime I see a face that's been cut off, I think of when Dwight Schrute cut the face off the CPR dummy. Like I can't unsee it. Sorry. But yeah, I'm ready for the finish.
That is the funniest episode of that show that there is.
It's so good.
Oh. All right, here's the ending, fellas. Back at the air base, Leroy is attacked in his bed by 3 masked men who demand the specifications to the B-52. He refuses to give them the information and is almost killed when Polly barges in and chases them off. We cut back to the theater, and holy shit, it is about to pop off. Teddy, Phil, Lily, Ronnie, and Phil's sister, Susie, sneak in where Ronnie projects the Music Man from the movie from the start of the film. They recognize the song when, holy shit, Maddie is in the film. What is this, Last Action Hero? Don't they know that they just need one of those magic tickets to get in there? Well, they don't have one. And Maddie looks directly at them before releasing the ass blaster creature baby at them. This monstrosity kills Teddy, Phil, and little Susie. Because fuck them kids, that's why. while Ronnie is barely able to escape with Lily. But once out, we end the episode with Lily screaming in horror as she realizes she's been carrying little Susie's severed hand the entire time. Wow.
Wow. Nice scare as the Major walks from his window with the figure outside. I really like that. And whatever this figure was outside the window is laying the absolute smackdown on Major. The type of ass whooping he's getting and threat of death, yeah, I'm spilling the info. Like, I'm a snitch. I don't care. No offense to Major, but I don't know if I buy him being strong enough to fight back like he is after the beating he just took. I don't know. I feel like he just got his ass whooped too much. Another good scene of tension in the theater, but Mutant Baby doesn't do it for me like I mentioned at the beginning. I think it just looks comical. Like, it just reminds me of something from like Beetlejuice or something. And the last thing I got is a nice reveal seeing the severed hand in her hand. But I wasn't expecting the episode to end considering there was 9 minutes left. Like, I thought there was going to be more. I don't know. I didn't watch what came after that, but yeah, it was kind of an abrupt ending. Go ahead, Mike.
Damn, we start this with the Major getting his motherfucking ass whooped. He was getting his ass tore up there by these masked hooligans. I don't know what the fuck these things were. But I like that we are kind of building up that side as well. We're just getting a little bit of depth there. Again, not as interesting, but was nice to see someone step in and help him beat these racist pricks up a little bit. But, really this ending here is about the world building. And I just love what they've done with the period set pieces here. The way the streets look, the movie theater, I think they nail the aesthetic. The kids riding their bikes like this, right? Like they just do such a good job to me building up this world that it kind of, it puts me right there in that time period. And I think they do a good job. Another great shot, along a lot of others where Maddie is in the movie. I think that's a great shot, especially with the Pennywise smile that we get. Awesome shot. All hell breaks loose. It's chaos. And look, I don't mind the baby. Now I get where you're coming from. It doesn't look the best, but I don't know if that's budget, even though this has a massive budget, which I'll reveal on the last episode. But it doesn't bother me because it's another form of Pennywise. This is still way scarier than the spider creature. I mean, I just fucking hate that thing in the movie part 2. I think it fucking blows. I love the way that they light this theater up red. It adds such a different effect. I really, really like the way that this last scene is lit, and great closing shot. Him holding or her holding her arm. I think is a great, just like, oh shit. This is a scary thing happening to these kids, right? And again, that makes it more effective for me. So great closing shot. I actually thought, man, this episode was absolute cinema. I am excited to watch the second episode. And I'm not a big fan of these horror shows unless it's like a classic like Bates Motel. Whoever would disagree with that's a fucking moron. But anyway, great episode. Great way to kick off the series.
Takes one to know one. When the guys attacked Hanlon in his bed there, at first I thought, oh shit, this is racist. Like they're just jumping him because he's black, that we already got the vibe they don't want him there. But then I realized that's not what's going on. But the first thought I had was, I thought it was Darth Vader. I mean, Marty McFly. They looked like they were about to tell the Major to ask Lorraine to the dance. I know Nico gets that reference, yes. Wild development when the kids see Maddie in the movie. And then the deranged look on his face as he released the demon baby into the theater. Now we're talking. Then that thing splattered the kid and started killing the kids, taking them. This was wild. And it makes the slow build that we got in this episode totally worth it. Especially that reveal at the end that Lily's holding one of the girl's hands. Like, that was incredible. That's how you end a television show. Now, I haven't watched ahead, so I don't know what episode 2 brings us. But I swear to God, if it's a flashback episode, I'm going to lose my mind. I want to pick up exactly where we left here. Pick up exactly with her still holding the hand, freaked out in that theater. I think this was a solid episode. It's a bit slow as pilots tend to be, but it was totally worth it. I am invested. I gave this one a 7 3/4.
Nice. I haven't watched ahead. Has anybody else watched ahead?
Mm-mm.
No. Interesting.
Yeah, I enjoyed going back to Derry, just seeing what was going on. I'm excited to see where they take the show as well. Like, but I'm kind of with you, Dustin. I'm struggling getting into shows as well too. Not more like newer shows, like going back and like Walking Dead season 2. Like that was a great season. That's probably been my favorite series like we reviewed, just because it was just fun discussion. It was fun revisiting that together. It was fun to talk about. So
I feel like they do a good job on that show of like the action. It never drops off. Like every episode, even the episodes where they're moving around, you're going to get at least one Walker sighting and interaction with them. So it makes up for it. Shows like this or like Bates Motel, like I just feel more drawn out. I don't know. Maybe
very
it's just
fair. Like Alien Earth had that same thing with me too. I don't know. It was just hard to get connected to it. Like it was just like the way they like when they chose to do certain things just took me out of it.
Yeah.
But anywho,
but Wendy was looking right. Sorry, go ahead.
You're not wrong. Any final thoughts, guys, before we get out of here?
Nope.
All right. We appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll be back next week.
Good night, Canada.
Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, take care of yourself.
Just want to remind everybody.